everybody, and happy Easter, happy Passover, and happy Ramadan for those who celebrate any of those. So for today's video, I'm going to go over all of the gaming news that's happened in the last month or so that has to do with rumors and leaks and speculation and a focus on Nintendo stuff. So you may have heard about some of the things I'm going to talk about in today's video already, but I just want to kind of play catch up here and go over everything that's been sort of important in that leaks and speculation and rumor world over the last month. And although this is going to be sort of a recap, some of the things are pretty new, so you may not have heard about those. Before I dive into all of that, I just wanted to say that I've been streaming lately a couple of nights a week. Right now I'm playing through Metroid Dread for the first time, and when I'm done with that, I'm probably going to move on to Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I plan on making this a regular thing from now on, so if you want to pop in and catch me for a stream, be on the lookout for those. I don't have a set schedule yet. I've just been streaming here on YouTube some nights a week, like I said, but I will probably do a dual stream on both YouTube and Twitch soon. So once I get that set up, my streams will be watchable both here and on my Twitch at the same time. My name on Twitch is Geno's Papa, same as my Twitter, since I couldn't get the name PapaGenos on those platforms. Just switched it around and I think it works. Also planning to start integrating the Discord server into this channel a bit more going forward. So if you haven't checked out the Forest Maze Discord, go ahead and do so. There's a link to the Discord in the description of all of my videos, and it's a great community, great place to talk about all things rumors and leaks and gaming in general. Alright, so with all that out of the way, let's talk about some leaks. I'll start off with the most recent leak that popped up just a few days ago. And this one's coming straight from Nintendo themselves. Always their own best leaker, right? This is a leak for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Basically, in the assets of an official Nintendo website, yet to be publicly released artwork for the game was found. It's very similar to the artwork we've already seen, but hey, some freshly leaked artwork for a game we haven't seen too much of yet is always welcome. I've seen some people theorizing that if the fact that this artwork was in the assets for an official Nintendo website right now, that might mean we could see some info or a new trailer for the game soon. Some 3 Hopes screenshots leaked on the 8th, and a few days later, we got a new 3 Hopes trailer. With the Xenoblade 3 artwork leaking, could a new Xenoblade 3 trailer be on the way? Maybe. Alright, so another interesting thing we learned about recently involves Bandai Namco and Nintendo. Some job listings appeared on Bandai Namco's website for a new game they're working on. Apparently the game is some sort of remaster or remake of a 3D action game collaboration with Nintendo. Your guess is as good as mine for what game Bandai Namco might be remaking for Nintendo. I honestly have no idea what game this might be referring to. I also guess the listing describes the background art as deformed, which likely means the Japanese chibi art style could be being used for whatever this game remaster ends up looking like in the end. So sadly we heard Breath of the Wild 2 will be pushed back to spring 2023. And E3 has been cancelled. Who knows when we might get new Breath of the Wild 2 information now. Though I'm still hopeful of a Nintendo Direct around the same time frame as we would have gotten E3, so June. And likely Nintendo will still show us something more for Breath of the Wild 2 at that point, as we have very little to go off of for that game, given how many years we've known about it and been waiting for it. However, still some interesting stuff did come out of the very short bit of footage we got with the delay announcement. We now know Link will have the Master Sword at some point in the game, and it looks like it's being corrupted. So assumedly, part of the game will involve uncorrupting the Master Sword. We also got a good look at what's going on with Link's arm, and his hand looks very similar to both the glowing hand that was holding Corpse Ganon in place, and what I assume to be Ganon's hand. So the mystery continues for what exactly the plot of this game will be. Also, we see a symbol glowing on the back of Link's hand. At first I thought it might be the Triforce of Courage, but upon closer inspection it seems to be a completely new symbol. Anyway, even more interesting than any specific details we can glean from the incredibly short bit of footage we got, some people think the quality of the footage itself could be noteworthy. I guess some of the footage seems to be very high quality. In fact, too high quality for the current Switch systems that are out on the market. And featured anti-aliasing and volumetric clouds that would just be too much for the current Switch to handle. Now, this wouldn't be the first time a company has put out a trailer for a game that looks much better than whatever the final product on the intended hardware ends up looking like when the game's finalized and in the hands of the public. However, this could point to the possibility of Breath of the Wild 2 being played on some upgraded Switch model here. So yes, this is yet another Switch Pro Super Switch rumor. We've had these for years and years, and we've only gotten the OLED model for the Switch so far. But it's certainly possible some Switch Pro could actually be in the works, and maybe even part of the reason they delayed Breath of the Wild 2 might be to launch it alongside this new hardware. Nintendo has used Zelda games in the past to promote some of their new hardware sales, and has even delayed Zelda games in the past that were built for older hardware to dual release on a new system, as well as the intended older one. This happened with the first Breath of the Wild even. So I don't know if that's what's going on here with this delay or what. There is a chip shortage right now, making releasing a new console a bit difficult for all the big gaming companies to actually meet the demand out there for newer consoles. But since this Breath of the Wild 2 footage does look better than anything the current Switch is capable of, because Zelda games have been held off before for newer consoles, and this isn't the first indication some kind of Switch Pro could be in the works, this is all worth considering. Actually, even the NVIDIA leak was pointing to the possibility of some future new Switch. Though keep in mind, while a lot of things on the NVIDIA leak have come to pass, we were told some of it was real, while other things were just speculative that were on it. So we can't trust what's on it with 100% certainty that they're going to happen. Speaking of the NVIDIA leak, something else that was on it was announced recently. Kingdom Hearts 4 got announced, and also a mobile game, Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, as well. So with Kingdom Hearts 4 getting announced, the NVIDIA leak gets another thing right. Also, Tactics Ogre getting a trademark and Street Fighter 6 getting announced, the NVIDIA leak has a lot of wins in its corner right now. Anyway, let's talk about the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, as the art style for it is looking super realistic, and I don't know how I feel about that, as I think Kingdom Hearts works better looking kind of cartoony, and not like a modern Final Fantasy game like it does here. However, apparently this more realistic look is only for the Quadratum real-world Tokyo area of the game that Sora's currently in, and the original art style will be used outside of the Quadratum. So that's good, because I can't accept Sora in these tiny shoes. It does seem to be real-world Tokyo. People have already doxed where exactly Sora is in this trailer too. Personally, as a The World Ends With You fan, I hope the Reaper games play into Sora being in Tokyo in some way. I'd love to see him reunite with Neku and meet some Neo The World Ends With You characters as well. But while that's just a crossover I'd like to see happen in Kingdom Hearts 4, there is some evidence for what crossovers we might see hidden in this trailer. Apparently, some people have noticed what looks to be the foot of an AT-ST from Star Wars in the forest scene. So potentially a Star Wars-themed world could happen this time. Disney does own Star Wars now. My guess would be that world might involve Sora being on, like, Endor, since we saw a forest there, and then potentially heading up to the Death Star or something. Also a bit more reaching, but some people have mentioned to me how part of the song sounds like a remix of an MCU song, and how one of the characters in the Quadratum sorta looks like Peter Parker from the PlayStation Spider-Man game. So I'm unsure if those are hints at Marvel potentially showing up in the next Kingdom Hearts, but whether those are actually hints or not, if they are going to do a realistic style for the Quadratum area, and they're planning to do a Star Wars world, I wouldn't be surprised if Marvel shows up here as well. Also, Kingdom Hearts references have been showing up in some Disney cartoons lately, and of course with Sora showing up in Smash, it seems like Disney has finally decided promoting the Kingdom Hearts series might not be a bad idea. In other leak news, we had a major data mine leak for the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass DLC tracks a few weeks ago. Basically, an updated banner image was found, and it has pictures of several unannounced courses on it. You have to look pretty closely at the banner here, but a ton of upcoming tracks for the DLC can be seen. Also, the prefixes for all of the courses have been found as well. Prefixes refers to the little tab below the courses that says where they first originated from, such as GBA for Game Boy Advance, or DS, 3DS, N64, etc. So with both the images of the tracks on the banner and the prefixes for each of the tracks, we have a very good idea of what to expect for the rest of the Mario Kart 8 DLC. Here's an image showing everything we know combining these two leaks. It seems to lean heavily towards adding Mario Kart Tour tracks. Hopefully the tracks you want to see are on here. Also, speaking of Mario Kart Tour, the mobile game, Amsterdam is the next course for the tour, along with a Nabbit Me racing suit. Alright, so next up is an unreleased Nintendo game that leaked in its entirety. Advance Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp. That's right, some people out there actually got a hold of the entire game early and have played it. So this Advance Wars remaster was supposed to release April 8th. However, due to world events, likely referring to the war in Ukraine, Nintendo decided to hold off releasing the game. Interestingly, this isn't the first time Advance Wars has been delayed because of real-world events. The original game actually was released on September 10th, 2001 in America, a day before 9/11. It was then immediately delayed for release in Europe and Japan for several years. Well, even with this remaster being delayed for Switch now, some did actually manage to get the game on April 8th. Apparently, if you had pre-ordered and preloaded the game digitally, on April 8th, the preloaded game became playable. So some people out there have played this one already. We'll have to wait for Nintendo to decide when they want to reschedule the release date for the rest of us to play it, but I completely understand why they decided to delay the title, given how some of the content in the game has obvious parallels to current real-world events. Metroid Dread got Boss Rush mode added to it. Like I said earlier, right now I'm in the middle of streaming my first time playing through Metroid Dread. I'll leave a link to the Dread stream playlist if you want to watch the backlog of the raw streams so far. But I'm also planning to edit down the streams into shorter 10 to 20 minute long videos just for the funny and interesting parts of the streams. Speaking of Metroid, there's been radio silence for years now from Retro Studios about the upcoming Metroid Prime 4 game. It was announced a long time ago, and then we were told it had to be completely restarted. So with the reset button hit on production of the game, and they handed the reins over to Retro Studios, I assumed it was going to take a while. But it's been forever since we've heard anything about the game. Well, a tiny bit of sort of tease for Prime 4 has surfaced. Retro Studios updated their social media banner, and it's a brand new piece of Metroid Prime artwork. It looks to be like a silhouette of Samus, and it looks like a completely new version of the Varia suit. So there you go, a tiny look at what could possibly be a bit of Metroid Prime 4. Alright, so let's talk about some Smash news. The Min Min Amiibo is due out April 29th, so if you're like me and looking to pick that one up, it'll be here soon. However, the Steve and Alex Amiibos, which were supposed to also release here in the spring, have been delayed, until a bit later at some point still in 2022. The Evil Ryu spirit has shown back up, and I'm unsure if this will actually end up being the last new spirit we get, but it has been a while since Evil Ryu was added, and it is currently still the final new spirit. Sakurai tweeted out a Geno image for the 26th anniversary of Super Mario RPG. He opted not to show the Geno Mii head here, so yeah, maybe that means he's aware the Mii face doesn't really look that good. A mask head and a music track would have gone a long way here, Sakurai. Still a little sad about it. But hey, if Sakurai hadn't made a Geno Mii at all, he wouldn't even exist in any form in any recent games. So at least Sakurai is keeping him alive for us. Also on the anniversary of Super Mario RPG, we got some concept art tweeted out. So that's cool to see for fans of the game like me. In Kirby and the Forgotten Land, there's a blatant Smash Bros. Reference referring to Kirby as the Pink Demon, which is his title on the screen in the background of the boxing arena stage in Smash Bros. Banjo's Smash Revival continues to net him some merchandise. Premium DNA Toys is making a Banjo and Kazooie action figure. I'll have to try and pick that one up, and add it to my Banjo-Kazooie collection. Also, the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 movie has come out, and I really enjoyed it. Probably the best video game movie I've ever seen, honestly. They went heavy on the Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Dr. Robotnik side of things, and light on the human characters this time. Though there is a very odd middle intermission type thing that just focuses on some side characters, but hey, the movie overall was great. It has lots of nods to the games and plenty of Easter eggs to please Sonic fans. Paramount also announced a Sonic 3 movie will be happening, and Knuckles will be getting a new original spin-off series. Considering how much I enjoyed Sonic 2, I'm very excited to see what's next. I won't spoil the ending of Sonic 2 for those who haven't seen it yet, but I have seen some speculation about the next movie using only the Sonic 3 movie logo and nothing from the Sonic 2 movie. So I'm just going to talk about that, and you can look up the logo online easily, so if you haven't seen the movie, this isn't exactly a spoiler. The speculation is basically that the logo could indicate that Metal might be involved in the next movie. I won't spoil the after-credits scene we see, but there could be a lot of cool stuff happening in the next movie if Metal is actually going to be in there, and that after-credits scene obviously shows a bit of where this movie's headed. Sadly, though, Jim Carrey has said recently he's considering retiring from acting, as he's done enough. He did also go on to mention if a really good script came along, he might still act, though. So hopefully with the very positive reception the Sonic 2 movie, and specifically his Dr. Robotnik, has gotten from fans, and since it seems he's able to have a lot of fun with this character, maybe if the fan demand is strong enough, he'd come back for more Sonic movies simply for the fans. The director of the Sonic 2 movie also said they'd love to make a Smash Brothers crossover movie, featuring Sonic and Mario. So that would be amazing if we ever actually got a Smash Brothers equivalent of the Marvel Cinematic Universe going on here. We do have the Mario Brothers movie happening later this year, so maybe one day these two movie universes can actually merge. Alright, and then a bunch of other noteworthy things from Nintendo over the last few weeks. We finally can organize our Switch using folders, and they've been adding new icons that you can get with points. Shocked it took this long to add such a basic customization feature. Come on, Nintendo, give us more customizability. The Switch is such an amazing system, so many people love it, and yet it's a huge step back from things like the 3DS in terms of basic functionality features like these. If you have the NSO expansion pass, we just got F-Zero X and Mario Golf. Those are the latest games to get added. Also, Universal announced Super Nintendo World is scheduled to open in Universal Hollywood in 2023, and will have exclusive apparel and collectibles at the park's store. In other gaming news, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Cowabunga collection got announced. It features essentially all of the old classic 2D Turtles games. I'm a big fan of these side-scrolling TMNT beat-em-ups specifically, so I'll probably pick this one up. Though I'm even more excited to play a brand new side-scrolling Turtles beat-em-up game with Shredder's Revenge happening later this year. Game Informer actually has the layout of a few of the stages. The sprite work looks amazing in this game, and there's lots and lots of cool references in the background for Ninja Turtle fans to notice. I can't wait to play this game. The Horizon series is getting a sequel to Forbidden West. Horizon 3 and a Horizon VR spin-off game, Call of the Mountain, seems PlayStation is planning to push the series as one of its main franchises. I played a bit of Forbidden West and enjoyed it, but still need to go back and actually complete the game. The map is huge. Also next month, on May 1st, a Horizon Lego Tall Neck set is being released. Very cool. Springboarding off of Legos, I guess we could talk about this really important cleavage controversy going on with the new Lego Star Wars Skywalker Saga game. But I feel like I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel at that point, so let's wrap up the video. Alright, well that's everything I wanted to talk about today. For those curious, I do plan on covering Multiverses, as there were some major leaks for it over the past few weeks. However, I want to give Multiverses its own video, and I want to explain in that video why exactly I haven't been on top of making videos and content about what's been happening with it. Basically, it's a tough one to cover right now because of how much Warner Brothers is using scorched earth tactics to essentially remove as much as they can about the leaks for the game off the internet. Anyway, I'll explain all of that in a Multiverses-focused video that should be coming pretty soon. Alright, well as always, if you have any thoughts or comments about any of the stuff we talked about in this video, feel free to leave them below.
Remember to like the video, leave a comment in the section below, and subscribe to PapaGenos!
Twitter, Patreon, Discord.